come back after the conflict and understand the life and how we connect to the things together. Please, friends,
Пане Андрію, доброго дня.
Доброго дня.
Доброго дня.
If
Да.
someone...
Галина Олексіївна переказувала вам свої вітання. Галина Олексіївна Хомич.
Дякую.
If someone have questions or to Yegor, I remember we will have discussion after that. Please, you can ask Yegor now. We can write to our chat.
We have no questions in our chat.
If you have no questions, so we can move to our next presenter from National University of Kyiv Mohila Academy in Ukraine, Professor Andrii Hirnyk, with the thematic of his discussion is the prospects and obstacles on the way to resolving conflicts in the Donbas, as viewed by the residents of the occupied territories. Please, Professor Hirnyk, we are with you.
Can I show my slides? My presentation.
You just have to share. Did you try to share it on Zoom? Okay, so you have just on share screen, the green button. You just put this button and just shows your presentation. It's have to be opened. Yes, I think. Just yes. You okay? So
yes, done. You see?
Not yet. Is that open yet? Is it open now? So just
open.
Okay. So just you have to share screen, but the other screen of the presentation itself.
So we see the phone.
Yes.
No.
Just.
Добре, зараз я це зроблю. And now?
Yes, great. We can see. Thank
you. Good day. In 2018, we conducted a study, the peace process in Donbas, how to achieve it, opinions of Donbas residents. 8 focus groups were conducted with residents of Donetsk and Luhansk region. And here I present a small part of this study. This survey was carried out in 2018 in Lugansk Oblast, in cities Svatova, Starobilsk, Rubizhne, Severodonetsk, and in Donetsk Oblast, in the cities Pokrovsk, Mirnograd, Slovyansk, and Mykolaiivka. I have 3 sources of information. The first, it was the residents of the occupied territories. They have families on the occupied territories, but they have no work there, so they work in Ukrainian territory, and it was my respondents. Another source was migrants from the occupied territories. They regularly visited their territories where they had housing and relatives. And the next, I beg your pardon, it was people who constantly communicate with relatives from the occupied territories personally or by phone, by Skype, and so on. According to our respondents, all residents of the republics, regardless of their political likes and dislikes, like a peaceful life and a well-organized life, cheaper and better products, a wide range of drugs in pharmacies, greater employment opportunities in Ukraine. They do not like the long and uncomfortable border crossing procedure. case at the pension fund and bureaucratic red tape, high utility tariffs, bad roads, expensive medicine, including unofficial payment, Ukrainization and decommunization, and a lack of order and stability. From the respondent's point of view, there are various, sometimes contradictory standpoints among the DPR, LPR, local residents with regards to desirable settlement of the conflict. Some people are even more adamantly opposed to the return to Ukraine. Others are taken to wish re-entering. Some agreed to return on conditions the power in the country changes. Others are exhausted and are counted to any authorities that can ensure peace. Expectation vary, but one of the whole the take from the current confrontation, as well as the wish for the conflict to be resolved and obvious. Who is living better in the so-called republic? The first, military and law enforcement officials. Second, governmental and local officials. Third, businessmen and officials who grabbed other people's assets. No, and then fourth, pensioners with large pensions, Ukrainian pension and local supplement. It means maybe miners who have real big, large pension from the Ukrainian point of view. Examples of statements by our respondents. Better for those who serve in the army. Know from my daughter's classmate, if some of men serve in the army, those are well-being. And another, there are 20% who ended up in the paramilitary forces, security forces. Here we have different standards of living. They live more luxuriously than they lived before, and they believe that Ukrainian will never return, otherwise their cream will run out. Another example of statements. Those who work in ministries are well off, the salaries are well off, the salaries are good there. Everyone wants to get there. A lot of people moved out and the career ladder was freed. They went up the career ladder there. Another statement. Those who in Ukrainian owned scrap metal collection points made such a fortune that they were later killed by newly arrived militias. In order to put several men in the acceptance, you know, that is one of the businesses that is very profitable there because there is a lot of metal. Another, an acquaintance with the wife of Lugansk official says, don't think that everything is bad in Lugansk. A lot of people live well in Lugansk. The possible conclusion is that the above-mentioned groups will consider to return of the occupied territories to Ukraine as the worst-case scenario with regards to the development of the events. The aforementioned group occupy important places in the social structure of society in the occupied territories and have the opportunity through the media to influence the picture of event in the heads of representatives of other groups. In these heads is a widely spread opinion that somebody outside of Donbas, Ukrainian nationalists, Ukrainian authorities, the USA, and etc., are in charge of the military conflict, and that relieves the Donbas population of the responsibility for the current situation. Some authors, for example, Professor Kononov from Luhansk University, emphasize that the population of Donbas is tired of the conflict and wants stability. He sees these sentiments as a signal of the readiness of the population of the occupied territories to integrate with Ukraine. Our research also confirms the fatigue and desire for stability among the population. But a significant part of the population does not want to return to Ukraine. Some hope for integration with Russia according to the Crimean scenario. Some believe in the possibility of the successful existence of the so-called People's Republic. Those who are not against returning to Ukraine said that Ukraine has fulfilled a number of conditions, which seems for us absolutely unrealistic. At the end, it seems that not only the position of the Russian Federation, which seeks to preserve the hot spot in the east of Ukraine, but also the position of the so-called elites of the so-called republics contradicts to the cause of reconciliation. Most likely, it's my opinion, in Donbas we will see another repetition of the Transnistrian scenario. That's all.
Thank you very much, dear Professor Hirnyk. It was very interesting. And, I think there's very important point that you said that people don't see themselves as responsible for the conflict. So they're not see their participation. So they see the conflict as something that has made from outside, from United States or Europe. And we see also this, I can say, it's kind of propaganda on channels, and some channels that are government-owned channels. So it was very, thank you for that, very good. And please, friends, if you have some questions to Professor Hirnyk from Kyivo-Mohylanska Academia, you can ask on the chat. Okay, great. It was very clear.